Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today is another big CGC 9.8 unbox. Yeah, and I was thinking about this before I came on camera just to make sure, but I think this CGC 9.8 is like hands down my favorite 1990s CGC 9.8 to buy for the money. And I'm not even really overstating this because I actually have 3 copies of this one in the 9.8 now. Yeah, this one is my third CGC 9.8 of this book. And I gotta say really quickly, a big thanks out there to team member Brett, who I think was just doing kind of his normal 9.8 hunting and came across this comic book. And we've talked a long time. We both know how much we love this book and how nostalgic it is for both of us, kind of. But this specific 9.8 was in Canada. So he's from the United States, knew I was from Canada, and he pretty much would have bought this, I'm pretty sure, if it was in the United States, because it was a good price. So he sent me a message on Instagram, and I pretty much saw the listing, kind of did a quick look. The pictures were looking really good, and basically insta-bought it. So huge thanks to Brett for looking out there and sending me this one. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought this one. Yeah, I wasn't really kind of actively looking for the 9.8s of this specific comic book, so huge thanks to Brett. Okay, let's get right into it though. I did boil it down to 4 reasons why I kind of pulled the trigger, but we'll get into the 9.8 census analysis and everything as well. But the newest edition, my third one, yeah, it's a Wolverine 88 in the CGC 9.8. One of the coolest 90s books, one of the coolest comic books out there, but for the 90s, in the 90s, it really stands out. So this is the first time Wolverine and Deadpool ever fight, and you get a ton of pages in there of a sweet epic battle between Wolverine and Deadpool. Adam Kubert cover on this one, like huge classic cover potential with this one. Like this is just, so well done, looks awesome. This one was so nostalgic for me. This came out in 1994. So that's pretty much right when I kind of started collecting. I would have been 9 years old. So right when I kind of started getting into comic books, and I just remember this cover from the 90s. And to be honest, not really knowing what it was back then. I didn't know it was the first Wolverine versus Deadpool, but it's just one of those Wolverine issues that stuck out because the cover was just looking so good. So looking on the census though, this one's an interesting one on the CGC census. There's a 84 9.8s in the blue label out there. So kind of a 1 of 84 collector item is sweet, I got to admit. The census is a little bit weird for this one because they separate the deluxe editions and the normal editions. However, it's weird because for a while they never separated them. So there's a part of the census that has sort of the deluxe and the non-deluxe all in one. And then I think it was about 3 to 4 years ago, they started a new census sort of thing under the first print that is the deluxe edition, but that the top part of the census has the deluxes in there with the non-deluxe. So it's a really confusing census. I put them all together, both of those two kind of censuses. There's 84 9.8s when you do that in the blue label. Some of those being the more rare non-deluxe version of this. This one's the deluxe version. The 2 others I have, I'll bring them out. They're off camera right now. Those are the deluxe version as well. It just says like X-Men Deluxe right here. I think in the normal edition it just doesn't say deluxe, but I don't really know why it's so different and why this is deluxe over the non-deluxe, to be honest. I have saw the non-deluxe in the 9.8 go for, I think it was around $300, and that was like 6 months to a year ago. That's the only one I've ever saw in the 9.8 sell. This one not as expensive as that, but 84 9.8s, 46.9% the CGC 9.8 ratio. So about half of them, just under half of them are CGC 9.8s, which nothing to kind of write home about, but not too bad for a 90s book of this era. So price we'll get into here. I paid $141 for this one. Yeah, 141 US dollars. I think it was like 180 Canadian or 185 Canadian. So 141, that's a great price for this. It's a decent price, I would say. If we talk about the 2 that I've already picked up, I purchased one of those for $100. It was like $99.99, and another one I got really lucky in an auction and grabbed one for it was like 55 or 60 bucks. It was such a great deal. But since then, I've made tons of videos about this one, and I think with X-Men and Deadpool coming back to the MCU, a few of these had sold over 200, I saw. Yeah, right around 200. So I kind of lost hope that I would get this for a decent price again, because I did sort of want another third copy. But with some of them going over 200 and me able to get one for 141. Looking so good too. Yeah, case looking great. Yep, as far as that, no scratches on the case. Yeah, the issue itself too is I think this one's probably one of the best ones out of my three. Yeah, really flat, nicely centered, everything like that. So great, sharp looking 9.8. We'll get into those 4 reasons there, but hopefully we'll get all these other ones out. Yeah. So I got 3 of these, so happy. Yeah, again, like a nostalgic issue for me. So whenever you can kind of stock up and have all these nostalgic issues, I really liked when I was a kid. It's a great feeling. So yeah, Wolverine 88, so glad to get another one. One of my favorite 1990s 9.8s. Let's get into those 4 reasons. So I think the first reason here, I think about this one as a pretty affordable up-and-coming alternative to Incredible Hulk 340. So yeah, Incredible Hulk 340, one of my favorite issues as well. That's like $500-600 now on the 9.8, maybe even more. I think some of them went for about 700. So that is the second ever battle between Wolverine and Hulk. And so yeah, with the first ever battle here with Wolverine and Deadpool, a bit of a passing of the torch kind of issue, but yeah, it just kind of fits as you know, if you're a Wolverine fan. I think this is just kind of an up-and-coming key issue that is definitely a more affordable alternative to Incredible Hulk 340, a book I really like as well. And maybe if your budget's a little bit less, this is a great alternative to that one. So second reason here is you know, why I love this book and why I wanted to grab a third one here. Classic cover potential. Yeah, this cover, it's just so collectible. I just think I've had really great pride of ownership having them. It's one of my issues too, I've noticed, where like people just message me like, hey, you selling those Wolverine 88? It's like, wow, they're so cool. And I'm like, yeah, they're cool, not selling, but yeah, so cool. And yeah, I just get great pride of ownership from them. So I think this one just has that classic cover potential where, you know, for the price right now, it just makes so much sense as a really good 9.8 to get, and the potential's there. Just, yeah, such a great cover that you want to collect. Third reason here, still a pretty decent price. Yeah, especially given a few had went for right around 200, a little bit over. So I was so happy, and a big thanks to Brett again to get one for 141. Again, I pretty much insta-bought it. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention with the price, I got it for 141. The seller, it was 141 or best offer. So I had sent him a best offer that was maybe 20 bucks less than the final price. And he didn't get back to me for like an hour maybe. And I ended up just buying it for the full buy it now price, which was 141, which I think was 185 Canadian. So yeah, it works out to 141 when you exchange American dollars. So I thought that was a fair price at the full price, and he wasn't getting back to me, and I was getting a little anxious thinking that, you know, since I knew some had sold for 200, like someone's probably going to come along that knows that too and just stab it for the 141. So I didn't want that to happen, so I just grabbed it. So yeah, you know, sometimes if you know the value of something, you know, that might be worth it for some people. For me, it was, yeah, just to get it right then and there for the extra 20 bucks rather than waiting, which I did kind of wait for an hour. So yeah, but still, I think it's such a decent price with a couple of these going over 200. Yeah, I'm pretty sure one sold for like 220, 225. So that's the third reason. Got it for a decent price. It just made sense. Fourth reason here, focusing in more on the one of 84. Yeah, that's just whenever you can get somewhere that's really cool, really collectible, and there's less than 100 of them out there, I think that's a good kind of a solid collectible, like, and you know, with that investment potential. And that's what I always try to do with collecting CGC 9.8s, is just, you know, make sure you love the book and all that, but you still want to sort of think of that investment perspective. And yeah, I really love this book, but I think over time, collectors are just going to really want this one and get that great pride of ownership from it. And right now, around $150, it makes so much sense. But again, yeah, the one of less than 100 of them in the 9.8 right now, and that'll go over 100 over time. Certainly, if Deadpool and Wolverine fight in the MCU, this will kind of explode over 100 with everyone just looking for this book and looking to send it to CGC. But right now, such a great collector item with a 1 of 84 and 3 of 84 here, I guess. So that is just a sweet feeling for me. Yeah, so yeah, I guess we'll conclude it up there. One of my favorite nostalgic 90s books for me, but it's one I'd recommend too, like even if you didn't know about this one, because I think it's pretty easy to not know about this one. It is pretty underfollowed if you didn't kind of grow up in the era. But this has just got a lot of potential from a lot of different angles, as we kind of discussed, and that's why I got 3 of them. Yeah, it kind of boils down to that. Mixed in the nostalgia from me remembering this from my childhood, that's when I really like to get like 3 of a book or something like that, when I really kind of feel compelled, because bringing back all those memories is a lot of what this hobby's all about, I think. Okay, so happy to have another Wolverine 88, and I really recommend this one. Like, it's tough to find a 9.8, maybe in the raw. Certainly if your budget's not at this level, you try to grab this one in a raw. It's just a great issue to hunt out, I think, seek out. Okay, that'll be all for the Unbox today. Yeah, just feels so good to have them all around. But if you haven't already, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Yeah, I would love to have you on our comic book collecting and comic book investing team. Hit the bell for all the latest video notifications, and add me on Instagram and Twitter as well. All the links in the description below for that. But yes, super happy for another Wolverine 88 in the collection. I think I'm kind of done. Maybe if I saw that normal edition, that the more rare one in the 9.8, I'd be really tempted. Or a newsstand or something like that, but probably done with the having the 3. But such a cool issue, and one I recommend, and hopefully you can get out and grab one for yourself if you're a big Wolverine and Deadpool fan. Yeah, certainly one to have, absolutely. So thanks so much for watching. Message me on Instagram if you had any questions. Yeah, kind of the easiest way to get a hold of me is on Instagram. I'm talking to a lot of people on Instagram. It's just really fun to chit chat about buying 9.8s and things like that. So yeah, send me a message on Instagram if you'd like. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.